So, good day, guys. This is GE 6114, Mathematics in the Modern World, Week 11, Annuity Part 2. Now, let's go with the next slide. So, these are the three objectives. So, at the end of this module or this lesson, you are expected to understand the concept of simple annuity, identify different kinds of annuities, and solve the problem involving annuities. Okay? Okay. Now let's proceed to the next slide. So let's define annuity. So it is a sequence of equal payments made at equal periods. Payments may be done annually, semi-annually, or etc. Kahit ano. Some good examples are monthly payments of rent, weekly wages, and annual premiums on life insurance policy. Kumbaga, some or most of the businesses offering services like life insurance, loans, is using annuity. Okay. So there are two types of annuities. So annuity certain and contingent annuity. So annuity certain is one of which payment begin and end at fixed times. So kumbaga, there is like a time frame wherein tinatawag natin life of investment kung when ka magbayad and when mag-end yung babayaran mo. So for example, nangutang ka ng cellphone. So on the next month, okay, doon pa mag-start yung pagbabayad mo ng cellphone. Kasi nag-down payment ka, right? So yun, certain yun. Then there is an end time kung babayaran mo siya for 2 years or 1 year. So yun. That's annuity certain. Certain ka na may end, may beginning at saka end siya. Yung contingent annuity naman is hindi mo alam kung when mo siya magagamit. It is one of whose payment depend on an event that cannot be foretold accurately. Kumbaga, you will be paid based on situation. So for example, national disaster or so kumbaga, gagana lang yung annuity na yun if ever may mangyari. So ika-calculate yung annuity if there is a calamity or there's an event that is within the scope or the agreement of that contingent annuity. Kumbaga, parang contingency plan, backup plan. Okay? So, yun. So, that's the time na magbabayad ka. Next. So, sa under annuity certain, may tatlong kinds tayo, subtypes. So, ordinary annuity, annuity due, and deferred annuity. So, yung ordinary annuity, payment is done at the end of the term. So, for example, nagbabayad ka every month. So, at the end of the month, ka magbabayad if you are using ordinary annuity. So, that is ordinary annuity. So, at the end of every term. So, kung ang term mo is every monthly siya, so that's the time na magbabayad ka. And that it would, you will, the kind of annuity will be ordinary. Next is annuity due. So payment is done at the beginning of the term. So for example, at the beginning of the month, first day of the month, or first day of the year. So at the beginning of the year, so that is annuity due. Then deferred annuity is payment is not given in the beginning or end of the period, but in some later period. So, for example, no, after 3 months ka pang magbabayad ng car na inutang mo, sir. Kaya deferred annuity. So, kumbaga, after 3 months pa or after 1 month ka pang magbabayad before mag-start yung annuity mo. Kaya deferred annuity. So, it's not at the beginning or the end of the period, but in some later period. So, depende yan kung how many years or how many months i-delay yung payment mo or when ka magbayad. Now, let's go with the formula for ordinary annuity and annuity due. So, actually, there are two pairs for the present value and the future value. Okay? So, may present value for ordinary annuity, meron din future value na formula to get the ordinary annuity. Yung future value ng ordinary annuity. Same with annuity due. Okay? Now, yung formula for ordinary annuity is PV sub OA is equals to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over 1 plus I raised to N times I. While yung annuity due naman is PVAD is equals to A times the quantity 1 minus 1 over 1 plus I raised to n over I times the quantity of 1 plus I. So, wherein yung A natin is yung payment or yung deposit amount or yung amount na ibabayad sa iyo ng kumpanya, then yung interest rate would be, yung I is the interest rate divided by the period. So, I is equals to R over M, where M is the conversion period, yung annually, semi-annually. So, yun. So, N is equals to payments, where N is equals to P, which is the life of investments. For example, 5 years mong babayaran, or 5 years kang babayaran ng kumpanya with your investment, multiplied by the conversion period. So, annually, semi-annually, monthly. So, yun. Then, PVOA is present value of ordinary annuity, while yung PVAD is the present value of annuity due. Now, let's have an example for ordinary annuity. So, a man paid 10% down payment of 200,000 for a house and lot and agreed to pay the remaining balance on monthly installments for 60 months at an interest rate of 15% compounded monthly. Compute the amount of monthly payment. Okay. So, yung down payment mo, DP, is 200,000. So, that is 10% of the cost of the house and lot. So, kumbaga, 10% yun ng kabuuan. So, to get the cost of the house, madali lang. So, all you need to do is divide yung 200,000 by 0.10, which is 10% of the house, and you will get 2 million. So, kunin mo yung 10% ng 2 million, that would result to 200,000. So, tama, 10% ng 2 million is 200,000. Kasi sabi dito, yung man down, bumayad or nagbayad ng 10% ng actual value ng house, which is 200,000. Okay? So, para makuha natin yung present value of the ordinary annuity, isa-subtract natin yung cost of the house minus the down payment. Kasi nga, nag-down payment ka na. So, ang babayaran mo na lang, then isubject natin sa ordinary annuity is 1.8 million. Kasi nagbayad ka na ng down payment eh. So, hindi nakasali yung 200,000 doon kasi nga, nag-down payment ka na. Okay? So, yung N natin is P times N, which is P ang life of investment. So, yung life of investment natin is 60 months. Compounded monthly. So, there's no need for you to multiply it again by 12. Kasi nga, in terms of months na yung installment, yung pagbabayad niya. Kasi babayaran niya every month. Okay? So, babayaran niya for 60 months at an interest rate of 15% compounded monthly. Compute the amount of monthly payment. Okay? So, there's no need for you to compute it or multiply it by M, which is 12. Kumbaga, every month naman siya, and then in terms of months na siya, so there's no need for you to multiply it by P times M. So, 60 na kaagad yung N. Then, ang M natin, which is the period, conversion period, is 12 kasi nga, compounded monthly. Then, ang R natin is 15%, which is 0.15. Okay? Then, to get yung I natin, kasi nga, sa formula natin may I is equals to R over M is equals to 0.15. Yung rate natin divided by M, which is the conversion period 12. So, we got 0.0125. So, let's solve this. So, ang required natin is A. So, yun. So, ang formula for PVOA is equals to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over 1 plus I raised to N times I. Okay? So, actually, pwede nating i-separate yung A kasi nga nakamultiply lang siya sa numerator. So, it could be like this. So, A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over 1 plus I raised to N plus I times I. So, all we need to do is substitute the value. So, 1.8 million yung PVOA. Then, yung I natin is 0.0125. Then, ang N natin is 60. So, sinubstitute lang lahat-lahat. Then, the value of this, itong 1 plus 0.0125 raised to 60 minus 1 all over 1 plus 0.0125 raised to 60 times 0.0125 is 42.0346. So, ito, swap ko muna kasi para yung A nasa left side, para mas convenient, mas magandang tingnan. So, yun, para A na lang ang matira, 42.0346, i-divide mo on both sides, then 1.8 million divided by 42.0346, that is 42,821, ano ba yung pesos per month. Yan yung babayaran niya for 60 months. So 60 na beses na ganyan. So multiply mo yan 60 times. So that's it. So that's the final answer. So now let's proceed to the next example. Let's proceed to the next example. So a piece of machinery can be bought for $10,000 cash. So pwede siyang i-cash for 10,000. Or you can pay down payment of $2,000. Then magbabayad ka ng $750 per year for 15 years. So what is the annual interest rate for the time payment? So ito, baliktad naman yung rate, interest rate ang missing. So given, yung cost ng machinery is 10,000. Yung down payment is 2,000. So, kung gusto mo siyang utangin, yung cost minus the down payment, so 10,000 minus 2,000, so yung PVOA natin, yung present value ng piece of machinery natin is 8,000. Okay? Yan na lang yung babayaran mo. Yan na lang yung isubject mo to ordinary annuity. Okay? Next, magbabayad daw siya ng 750 per year. So that's A. Yan yung ide-deposit mo. Okay? Every year. So ang M natin is 1. Hindi naman in-indicate kung ano yan annually, semi-annually. So automatic M natin is 1. Kasi nga, per year naman siya magbabayad. There's no problem with that. That's M. Yung N natin is P times M. So yung P natin is the life of investment. Ilang years niya babayaran? 15 years. Okay? Times M, which is the period. So 15 times 1 is 15 pa rin. That's N. Okay? Then yung I natin is equals to R over M. Yung R natin missing. So R pa rin siya. Then yung M natin is 1. So R divide 1 is R. So yung required natin is R. Ito. Yung required natin is R. So yung solution, PVOA is equals to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over 1 plus I raised to N times I. So, yung PVOA natin is 8,000. Yung A natin is 750. Then, yung I natin is R. Then, yung N natin is 15. So, using a calculator, so, gayahin lang natin yung formula using shift solve kasi mahirap yun isolve eh. So, pwede namang using a Excel, pero pwede din calculator na ganito. Natural VFOAM na FX570VN. Now, so that is 8,000 alpha CALC, then fraction bar, so that is 750 times. So ginagaya ko lang yung equation kanina, yung may R. So times the quantity of 1 plus, so walang R dito, so X ang instead of R, X ang gamitin natin na variable. So alpha, open parenthesis, itong katabi ng del. Okay, then close. Then raise to 15. Then minus 1. Then close. Then all over, open parenthesis 1 plus alpha X raised to 15 times R. So, palitan natin ng X kasi walang R dito. Then shift, then CALC. Solve. Solve for X, then you click equals. So, ang answer natin is 0.0459921,043. So, yung answer natin dito would be 0.04599 or round off natin, that is 0.0460. Okay, then you multiply it by 100 para maging percentage. So yung rate natin or yung annual interest rate natin is 4%, 4.60% or 4.6%. Okay, so that's the final answer. So this is the next example. So we're done with ordinary annuity. Let's go with annuity due. Example number 1. So John wants to apply for a loan payable over a period of 5 years from a bank that charges 12% interest per annum. Pag sinabi natin per annum, per year yan ha, annually. Compounded annually, then yung annuity, compounded annually siya. So if he can only be able to pay back $10,000 per annum or per year at the beginning of each year, what is the loan amount that he will get? So, ito. So, yan yung final answer. Okay. So again, no, John wants to apply for a loan payable over a period of 5 years from a bank that charges 12% per year or per annum, compounded annually, if he can only be able to pay back $10,000 per annum or per year at the beginning of each year, what is the loan amount that he will get? So ito yung formula for annuity due. Again, yung N natin is P times M. Yung M natin is compounded annually wherein 1 ang M natin. So, 5 years daw yung gusto ni John na bayaran yung utang niya. So, 5 times 1 is 5. Rate natin is 0.12. A natin is 10,000 kasi yan lang yung pwede niyang ibayad per year, per annum. Then, I is equals to R over M. So, 0.12 divided by 1 is equals to 0.12. Okay, so substitute siya sa formula which is nasa upper left, annuity due. So 10,000 times the quantity of 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 0.12 raised to 5 all over 0.12 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.12. Then it would equate to 40,373.49 using a calculator. Okay, and that's the final answer. So we're done with this, no? Now let's go with another example. So Paul wants to make an investment that will pay him. So babayaran siya ng kumpanya or ng bank of ng $2,000. Okay? At the beginning of every month. So every first day of the month babayaran siya ng $2,000 for the next 3 years. Okay? If the investment offers an interest rate of 12% per annum or per year, compounded monthly, how much should he invest today? Kumbaga, yung 2,000, yun yung ibibigay sa kanya ng kumpanya. And magkano ba yung present value? That's the question. What's the present value ng i-invest niya? Yung investment niya. Okay? So, yung A natin is $2,000. M natin is 12 kasi nga compounded monthly. And how much should he invest today? So, okay. And we're done with that. So, yung N natin is equals to P times M. So, yung gusto niyang mangyari is bayaran siya ng $2,000 per month for the next 3 years. So, yung duration ng tinatawag natin ito, duration ng investment na yun is 3 years. So, the life of investment is P, which is 3, multiplied by M, which is compounded monthly. So, ang value ng M is 12. So, 3 times 12 is 36. So, 36 ang value ng N. Okay. Now, yung rate natin is 12% per year. So, that is 0.12 in decimal. Then, to get R, so that is R divided by M. So, that's 0.12 divided by 12. That is 0.01. Then, the formula for annuity due is, for present value is what? Ito. So, PVAD is equals to A times the quantity of 1 minus 1 over 1 plus I raised to N over I times the quantity of 1 plus I. Okay? So, substitute lang natin yung mga values that we got from the given. So, yung A natin is 2,000. So, yung formula natin would turn out like this. So, 2,000, ito, 2,000 times the quantity of 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 0.01 raised to 36 all over 0.01. So, substitute lang natin yun sa formula ito. Okay? So, balik tayo. Then, sinimplify lang. So, naging 2,000 times the quantity of 1 minus 1 over 1.01 raised to the power of 36. So, 1 plus 0.01 is 1.01. All over 0.01 times 1.01. So, the final answer, so using a calculator, inisa lang lahat, that is 60,817.16. Okay? So, that's the final answer. So, we're done with this. Let's go with the next slide. So, we're done with getting the ordinary annuity and annuity due on present value. So, kukunin yung present value of that annuity. Okay? Now, let's go with future value. So, almost the same yung mga notation ng mga variables but different ang formula. So, I think yung future value is much simpler than the present value actually. Kung titingnan yung formula, mas madali siyang tingnan. So, the same pa rin yun. Ang kaibahan lang is FV na ang gagamitin. So, FVOA is future value of ordinary annuity while yung FVAD is future value of annuity due. Now, James deposits, no, this is the first example for ordinary annuity. So James deposits $1,200 at the end of the year into an ordinary annuity. So napaka-obvious, no? So I'll make it like that yung problem para hindi naman kayo mahirapan. So naka-indicate na agad na ordinary annuity or simple interest para hindi na kayo mahirapan. Okay? So James deposits $1,200 at the end of the year into an ordinary annuity that pays 6% annual interest. So at the beginning of each year, so what is the future value of the account at the end of 5 years? Okay? So given, so yung dineposit niya is 1,200, then yung rate is 6% annual, so every year. So that is 0.06. So ang M natin, kasi annual interest nga, so that is 1. Then yung N natin is P times M, where P is the life of investment. So at the end of 5 years, that was the future value. So 5 yung P, then yung M natin is 1. So ang N natin overall is 5. Then to get I is equals to R over M. So yung rate natin is 0.06 divided by 1 is 0.06 pa rin yung I. So yung formula for future value, no, of ordinary annuity. So yun yung required. Kasi nga, what is the future value? So obviously, FVOA ang kukunin. So yung formula for FVOA, future value of ordinary annuity is equals to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over I. Then FVOA is equals to 1,200 times the quantity of 1.06. So sinimplify lang natin, no? So shortcut ko na lang kasi nga i-add lang natin yung 1 plus yung 0.06 or 0.06 na I. Okay? So in-add ko na lang agad dyan. So that's 1.06 raised to 5. Yung N natin is 5 minus 1 all over 0.06. So using a calculator, FVOA is 6,764.51. Okay? So if we don't have that annual interest, imagine, that is 5 years, no? So magbabayad siya ng 1,200, that would be 5,200 lang. So as you can see, tumubo yung pera niya ng more or less 800 7 1,500 no? Ang tinubo ng pera niya. Okay, so that's the future value. And that's the final answer. So let's go with the next example. So example number 2 for ordinary annuity getting the future value. So how much must be deposited at 6% each year beginning on January year? So for example, this year ka mag-i-invest. So sa January ka mag-i-invest. Okay? Then, in order to accumulate 5,000 pesos on the date of the last deposit, so yung last deposit mo is year 6, which is January 1 also. Kumbaga, yung ika-6th year, January 1, that's your last payment. So magkano ba ang i-deposit mo para maka-earn ka ng 5,000 after 6 years? Okay, isa-isahin natin. So yung given natin is, yung R natin is 0.06. Then yung FVOA natin is yung future value. Kumbaga yung na-accumulate. Yan yung future value. 5,000. Yung N natin is 6. So kasi nga, naka-deposit naman siya each year at the beginning of the year. So there's no other or walang M na dineclare. So automatic yung M natin is 1. So P times M. So 6 years times 1 is 6 pa rin. So yung N natin is 6. So yung M natin is 1 kasi nga every year yung pagbayad ng annuity. Then yung I natin is equals to R over M, wherein yung R natin yung rate natin 0.06 divided by 1. So 0.06 pa rin yung I. So FVOA is equals to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 over I. So pwede natin i-separate yung A with 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 over I. Okay? So yun, sinubstitute lang yung value. So yung FVOA natin is 5,000 is equals to A, walang value. Kasi yan yung hinahanap natin, yung magkano yung i-deposit natin para maka-earn tayo ng 5,000. So that is A times the quantity of 1 plus 0.06 raised to 6 minus 1 over 0.06. So, in-evaluate ko lang itong naka-enclose, then minultiply ko siya sa A, then swap places kasi nga gusto ko yung A nasa left side. So, the answer is, yung 1 plus 0.06 raised to 6 minus 1 over 0.06, ang answer niyan is 6.9753. Then, multiply by A. So, divide ko both sides with 6.9753 para A na lang ang matira sa left side. So left and right. So, pati yung 5,000 ma-divide sa 6.9753. So, it turns out na yung dapat i-deposit mo is 716 every year. Okay? Para makakuha ka ng 5,000 after 6 years. Okay? So, yun lang yan. That's the final answer. So now let's proceed to the next example. Okay? So we're done with ordinary annuity ng mga examples. Tag-dalawang examples lang kasi. So let's go with annuity due, getting the future value. Suppose you want to save money for your child's college expenses. So let's suppose you deposit $1,000 at the beginning of each year. For 18 years mo babayaran at an interest rate of 5%. How much is available for your child when he or she starts school? So, yung i-deposit mo, obviously, yun yung A, $1,000. Yung M natin is yung interest rate. So, magbabayad siya every year. So, therefore, yung interest rate na yan is every year. So, ang M natin is compounded yearly. So, ang M natin is 1. Then, yung N natin would be P times M. So, yung M natin is 1. Then, yung number of years na babayaran o mag-deposit siya ng $1,000 is 18 years. So, 18 times 1 is 18. So, yung R natin, yung rate natin is 5%. So, convert natin sa decimal, that is 0.05. Then, to get I is equals to R over M. Yung rate natin is 0.05 divided by 1. Kasi yung M natin is 1. So, the result of I is 0.05. So, yung need natin kunin is yung future value of the annuity due. Kung magkano ba yung makukuha ng child niya after 18 years. So, FVAD is equals to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 over I times the quantity of 1 plus I. So, from the formula yan. Ito, annuity due. Then, substitute lang, no? So, FVAD is equals to 1,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.05 raised to 18 minus 1 all over 0.05 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.05. Then, simplify natin, no? So, FVAD is equals to 1,000 times the quantity of 1.05 raised to 18 minus 1 all over 0.05 times 1.05. So, using a calculator, we got 29,539,000. So, let's try sa calculator na. Pakita natin kung makukuha ba talaga. So, that is, open parenthesis, fraction, that is 1,000 multiplied with double open. So, that is 1.05 raised to 18. Minus 1. So, kung wala kayong scientific calculator, you can use mano-mano na lang. Isa-isahin nyo. Pwede naman. As long as you have executed it well. Then close parenthesis. Then multiply it with 1. Open parenthesis 1.05. So we got 29,539.00391 or 29,539. So same answer. Okay? And that's the final answer, 29,539. So we're done with this. Let's go with the next slide. Next example on annuity due, getting the future value. Suppose for an annuity due, you want to have 30,000 in the bank after 20 years. Okay, gusto mo maka-obtain ng $30,000, assuming you make deposits at the beginning of each year at an interest rate of 4%. How much would you have to deposit at the start of each year, assuming that each deposit is the same amount? So, kumbaga, yung 30,000 dyan is the future value of the annuity due. Yan yung gusto mong ma-obtain. Ang missing is yung A, kung magkano yung i-deposit mo. I-deposit mo at the beginning of each year. So, FVAD is 30,000. So, ang M natin is each year siya. So, walang binanggit na M na annually, semi-annually. So, automatic yung M natin is 1. Then, N is equals to P times M. So, yung babayaran niya for or kukunin niya after 20 years. So, 20 yung life of investment. Then, multiplied by M, which is 1. So, 20 pa rin yung N. Then, yung R natin is 4%. That is 0.04 in decimal. Then, to get I, that is I is equals to R over M. We're in 0.04 yung rate natin divided by M, which is 1. So, I natin is 0.04. So, the formula for FVAD is equals to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I. So, that is 30,000 yung FVAD is equals to the quantity of A times the quantity of 1.0420 raised to 20 minus 1. So, in-add na lang diretso yung 1 plus I. So, that is 1.04 raised to 20 minus 1. All over 0.04 times the quantity of 1 plus I we're in, that is equals to 1.04. Then ito, sineparate ko yung A tsaka yung 1.04 raised to 20 minus 1 all over 0.04 times 1.04. Then minultiply ko itong dalawa and I got 30.9692. Okay? So, nilagay ko sa left side yung A. Okay? Yung A. Para nasa left side yung A para mas convenient tingnan. So, divide ko both sides by 30.9692. So, kasali yung 30,000. So, 30,000 divided by 30.9692, that is, ang A natin, ang dapat yung i-deposit every year is 968 pesos and 70 centavos to get 30,000 after 20 years. Okay? And that's it. So imagine, no, that's more or less 1,000. So times 20 years, that's 20,000. So yung kinita niya is 30,000. So kumita siya ng 10,000 out of that, more than 10,000. Okay, and that's the final answer. So we're done with this. Let's go with the last example. So the formula for deferred annuity, di ba? If you remember, yung deferred annuity is that hindi sa beginning or sa end yung start ng payment. So, there is a delay in payments. Kumbaga, di ba, kung nangutang ka ng cellphone, hindi naman agad magbabayad ka ng monthly mo yung pagkakuha mo ng cellphone, next month pa. So, that is deferred annuity. So, deferred annuity, kumbaga, there is a delay in payment. So, PVDA is equals to A times the quantity of 1 minus 1 plus I raised to negative N all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to negative K. That is the formula for deferred annuity, wherein I is equals to R over M and N is equals to MT. Wherein yung A natin is the annuity amount, I is the interest divided by the number of periods per year. So yung periods per year, no, annually, semi-annually, then yung R natin is interest rate, T natin is time in years, then ang K is yung delay. Kung okay? So that's the delay. So after 3 months ka pang magbabayad, sir, or after a month ka pang magbabayad, that's letter K. Then yung N is the number of payments. So ilang payments ka all throughout the time duration. Then the present value of deferred annuity, yung PVDA. Now, let's have an example. So Mr. Aquino wants to receive a consistent amount from a bank that offers 6% interest to be compounded annually. If he will delay his withdrawal for the first 5 years, how much should he deposit now to receive 100,000 every year for the next 10 years after the period of deferral? So makaka-receive siya ng 100,000. So isa-isay natin, no? Yung given natin is 6% interest compounded annually. So 0.06. So ang M natin is 1 compounded annually eh. So 1 lang yung M. Then yung K natin, yung delay is 5 years. 5 years niya bago i-withdraw. Okay? Then yung A natin, yung marireceive niya every year is 100,000. Ang problem natin is, ano yung present value ng deferred annuity niya. Okay? So, A natin is 100,000. So, yung N natin is, yung P is 10 years, then ang M natin is 1. So, N natin is 10. So, get natin yung R, yung I. So, that is, I is equals to R over M, wherein 0.06 yung R divided by I, that is 0.06. Okay? So, PVDA is equals to A times the quantity of 1 minus 1 plus I raised to negative N over I times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to negative K. Kumbaga, need natin kunin yung present value ng deferred annuity. So, substituting the value, so 100,000 times the quantity of 1 minus 1 plus 0.06 raised to negative 10 over 0.06 times 1 plus 0.06 raised to negative 5. So, using a calculator, so let's see, no, kung makuha natin. So, 549,988.52. So, try natin. So, that is 100,000 times the quantity of 1 minus 1 plus 0.06 raised to negative 10, then close all over 0.06, then right arrow, then close mo yan, then multiply mo siya sa 1 plus 0.06. So that, oops, may mali ata ako. Okay, hindi ko na raise sa negative 5. Raise to negative 5. Kasi nga, yun yung K. So that's 549,988.52. So same answer. And that ends our week 11. So thank you for joining the virtual class today. And God bless us all. And that ends our week 11.